Hi, how's everybody doing? Yahweh bless you. Um, in order for you to understand Scripture, you have to go back in the time frame that it was written and put yourself in their shoes as if you were living in that day and age. In other words, what I'm trying to tell you is that when the Jews they had the temple and they were doing away with Yahweh's commandments, and the prophets, the Hebrews, who were dark skinned, who were black, and the Jews were obviously white, which the scriptures tell us, ye, the synagogue of Satan, who say you are Hebrews, but are not, you are Jews. So basically what was going on is the prophets Yahweh was sending, and they just kept killing them. So they never wanted to follow the commandments. They were doing away with the commandments, kind of like what the churches are doing today. So it's no different before and now. Pharisees, church people, churches, synagogues, Satan's synagogues. Basically, these are the ministers of light of Satan because they're doing away with the commandments. So it has not changed. It's no different. And the only difference is Rome came in, destroyed Yahweh's temple in Jerusalem, and the Jews, they lost their temple. Why? Because Yahweh allowed it to happen. Because they kept killing the prophets. And then they killed the Messiah. They killed the disciples. And Rome, killed the Messiah. So basically, you have to understand in that time frame what happened. So when Rome came in and destroyed Yahweh's temple, not only did they destroy Yahweh's temple, but they stole his treasures. So all the treasures that were in that temple, Rome has. So with all those treasures, Rome was very rich. So they could pretty much conquer the world and do whatever they want and set up religion, set up churches to use that to deceive people, to get them to where they wanted them to be in control. And at that time, the Sabbath day was Friday, Saturday. So you were either going to be killed for worshiping Yahweh on the Sabbath day. So they were killing the Hebrews. They were killing the Jews. They were killing the truth. They were basically doing away with the truth because they want to convert everybody from worshiping Yahweh to worshiping Rome, who is the Godfather. So a God is a human official, so you have to understand that. Psalms 82 tells you, you rulers of the world, you're gods, and the earth is out of whack. So now what these people have been doing is they had kings, they had gods that they worshiped. So they bow down to the king, they bow down to the god. And when the king was killed, they were recognized as gods. So the Lord, the king, the father of the ruler of the world, So that's who they were bowing down to. And they would worship on the Sunday. So when Rome took control, they were forcing everybody and killing everybody and saying either you worship the Godfather, the Lord, and bow down to him on Sunday, or you are going to be put to death. And no longer can you worship Yahweh. No longer can you mention of that name. No longer could you mention the name Yeshua, Messiah. No longer Yahweh's Spirit. And basically they did away with the names. And the only way they could do away with the names, which Yahweh has told us, confusion comes with different languages. So what they did was they set up their own false Messiah. The serpent, the lie is sin, which is of the serpent, will basically mimic the scriptures. And basically that's what they did. They set up graven images. They set up gods for themselves. They set up churches. They set up religions, like the Roman Catholic Church. They set up their own prayers for their own gods. And they mimic what the scriptures tell us. But they do not follow and obey the laws. So that's how we recognize the difference between them and the difference between the truth. So that's why we have to test every prophecy, and we have to fit it according to Yahweh's commandments. Because if they're not following Yahweh's commandments and they're going away from Yahweh's commandments, that's telling us you don't want to go that route, because Yahweh's commandments are perfect. Yahweh created. Yahweh tells us in his scriptures, do not cause my people to forget my name. You priests, you are doing away with my name. You're not worshiping me. You're tricking the people to worship the God of this world, the Godfather, the Lord. So Malachi 2 tells you that they were doing that. They were doing away with Yahweh's name. They were never worshiping Yahweh's name. So now you have Rome, in order to control and take control of the people and to rule the world. What are they going to do? They're going to set up a Roman church. They're going to set up Christianity. They're going to set up, Jesus Cristo, their own false Messiah, their own false Virgin Mary, Mother of God, meaning the Godfather. They're going to set up graven images, gold, silver, to get rich and make money off these things. So it's, Yeshua Messiah, you thieves, you have turned my Rabbah Yahweh's house into a den of thieves. So what are these churches doing? They're turning things into a den of thieves. They're making money and getting rich off these things, these gods. So they're thinking about any way they could get rich and doing away with Yahweh's commandments. So that way they could rule the world, because they don't want to be conquered themselves. So the only way they can not be conquered is by outsmarting everybody else. So they're going to do anything possible to conquer the world, whether it's breaking the commandments, working every day like slaves, slaving people. So what did they do to the Hebrews, the black people? They never wanted to follow or listen to it because they were racist. They were black. And Yahweh, those were Yahweh's first people, firstborn people, Israelites, Hebrews. So they weren't going to listen to that. So what did they do? They sold them off as slaves, killed them, got rid of them, got rid of the truth, corrupted the Bibles, changed the Bible so that way we worship the Godfather and not Yahweh. Got rid of the name, our heavenly Rabbah, Yahweh, and the truth. And they corrupted, the Old Testament, the New Testament, and then you have the Quran, which is the last prophet, Muhammad. Exodus 6:3, Abraham never knew the name Yahweh. Yahweh never revealed that name to him. But Yahweh revealed the name to Exodus 3:15 to Moses. Say to the children of Israel. Moses was mistaken for Egyptian. Egyptians were dark skinned. Messiah was sent off to Egypt to be hidden because he was dark skinned. They were black, So, because they wanted to kill him because he was going to be the king, the ruler of, the one that was going to, make disciples out of disciples in Yahweh, our heavenly Rabbah Yahweh's name. That's, it tells you that. And what is it, John 17? I came to make your name known. So why would he have to come and make his heavenly Rabbah Yahweh's name known? It's because they were doing away with the name. They were doing away with the truth, the commandments. He had to make all those things be known, brought out into the light and away from the darkness, the truth. And that's why they killed him. And he explained all that in Matthew 5. No, I do not think I came to abolish the commandments of Yahweh. Not one letter will disappear from the alphabet. And not one commandment in heaven and earth shall disappear, but my commandments shall stand forever. I mean, what does that mean? You have to understand that they corrupted and twisted the word around. Jeremiah 8:8 tells us they've been doing that for the longest time. Their scribes, their pens are in vain. So basically, they killed the truth by getting rid of the Hebrews, and they sold them off as slaves on ships, like Yahweh was saying again. And then same thing with the Jews. They did the same thing. They don't want people to know the truth because, some Jews were good and they followed Yahweh and commandments, just like some people. Well, nobody's good, but we all fall short of sin. But basically, that's it. And that's where, everything got all screwed up. Now we have so many religions and so many false things just so the serpent and the ruler of the world could get rich. Peace, shalom.